Hello, bye folks. Bye curious folks. I don't know if I'm bye folks. How do you know if you're bye folks? And I just want to be all up in somebody's business, folks. My name is Shauna, and I'm out here being bye. You know what? Hold on. We're not gonna have the same issue that we had on the last video when I had the AC on in my car, and that it was very loud. But you could still hear me, but it was distracting until you got into what I was saying, and then it didn't sound so loud. That's how stuff works. But I didn't want you to have to compete with the fan this time, so I turned it off. So you probably don't know this. You may, because I just had some really old videos, not really old, but like a year old, when I first started this channel, and I may have mentioned then that I am a spiritual counselor, bi positive, bi friendly, LGBT positive, LGBT friendly, LGBTQ, rainbow friendly. I'm rainbow friendly. And rainbow positive. And so my practice is not specifically geared towards only the rainbow population, because mostly I counsel women. So I will counsel men, but it just so happens that a lot of my clients are women, because I feel like my calling in life has been to be an advocate for women. And so I've gone through many things in my life, as we all have. And I feel like I went through those things so that I can help other women when it comes time when they need to go through, when they need an empathetic ear, empathetic heart, then I could be that person for them. So the reason I'm telling you that right now is because I have a client that I just saw. Man, listen. Sometimes you hear the things that other people are going through and just the bullshit that they have to deal with on a daily basis. And you think to yourself, my problems are minuscule. Like, what the hell am I even complaining about? Because there are people in the world who are going through this. And that's not to say that you don't get to grieve or to mourn or to feel pain in whatever it is that you're going through in your life, because you absolutely do. And so you should grieve and you should mourn and you should do whatever that constitutes a self-care for yourself, so that you can get through those things. So don't feel like you can't be anxious or upset with things that are happening into your life just because there are people that are going through worse. But my point is that it does put things in perspective for you when you see somebody going through something that's really, really bad. And I have gone through some really, really bad things in my life. And so I do understand, and I am empathetic, but you can be empathetic having never experienced those things. You can be empathetic to somebody's pain because you know what pain feels like. So you may not be in that particular situation, but you understand what it means to be in pain: physical, mental, spiritual pain. I was trying to think of another one. There was spiritual, mental, emotional, physical. I don't know if I said all four at first, but anyway, those are the ones. Yeah, it puts a lot of things in perspective for you when you see somebody that is in so much pain, and especially if, you know, when people are going through some things, there's things where they feel absolutely alone because they don't have anybody they can talk to in their personal lives who will just be empathetic, who will just listen to what it is that they have to say. Just listen to them vent and get all the crazy crap that's going inside their head, just get it out of their heads. And some people don't have that. And I always encourage, if my clients, I am not a licensed psychotherapist. I'm going to say that. So if my clients, if I have clients and they either let me know up front that they have seen or are seeing a mental health professional, a licensed psychotherapist or a psychiatrist or a psychiatric nurse practitioner, I will let them know that this is not something that I can help them with. They have a mental health diagnosis and they need to be helped and counseled by somebody who has a mental health license. That is not me. I help people that need to get through obstacles. So I can help you navigate that. I can help you get your power back. I can help you. I can give you ways and suggestions that you might be able to do that. You have to do all the work yourself, of course, but I can help you. I can guide you through that process. So I just wanted to put that out there. I'm not a licensed psychotherapist. I'm a spiritual counselor. I am an ordained minister. I went through several years of metaphysical schooling. And I have a PhD in metaphysical humanistic science, concentrating on spiritual philosophy and spiritual counseling. So that's what my education and background is in. So I can help you get through obstacles. I can help you if you're having an existential crisis. I can help you if you just don't, like, you're getting in your own way and you just don't know where to go or how to stop, and things like that. So I can do that kind of counseling. So I don't know what I was talking about before that part, but I didn't want to get that out there because I didn't want anybody to believe that I was trying to, or that I could help them with a mental health diagnosis. So I can't. But so my client is going through some really, really tough stuff. Obviously, I'm not going to tell you what that is because she's my client. But some really, really tough things. And like I said, hold on, let me get the light back on. My light's on a timer. If it doesn't detect motion, it goes off. So yeah, she's going through some really tough things, and she doesn't have anybody who she believes is on her side or who she can listen to, and who can listen to her. And not even in the rainbow community can she find anybody that they just be there for her, just be a friend. She has family, she has friends, she has a wife, but none of them are helping. So I did encourage her to go and see a mental health professional because that's what I think that she needs, and I think that's where she can best get her help. I don't want to stop her from getting help. Like, I don't want to, say, okay, this is something I can handle when this is something I clearly can't handle. I'm not licensed. I'm not schooled, educated in that thing. So I did recommend her to someone that I know who's very good. But she's going through some very tough stuff, and it puts things so much in perspective just for me. So like I said, I've gone through some really tough times from the time I was a little girl all the way up to adulthood, some really, really bad things. And but right now I'm not going through any of that stuff. So like, I'll have little annoyances and little things that just get on my nerves. And like my job, we had a whole conversation about my job, and that is so small compared to what she's going through. And that's not to say that my feelings aren't legitimate. It's just to say that it puts it in perspective to me, because I'm like, well, man, I could be going through all of this stuff that she's going through. And I'd much rather have my problems than to have her problems, is what my point was. So just think about that. Just think about if you're going through something that may be easily fixed, or something that may not be easily fixed, but your attitude could probably change about it, and that would make it a little better. Because sometimes your energy, the energy that you bring to the situation, doesn't make it better, and sometimes makes it worse. So think about those kind of situations and see if you might be able to gain some perspective as to how bad it really is. If it's something that you can change, if it's something that just a mere attitude adjustment could change. You know, thoughts manifest things. So whatever that you are thinking about, whatever that you focus on, is what is manifested in your life. Energy grows where focus goes. So if you focus on this negative job that you have, it's just gonna bring more negativity to that job. So I focused on, the other day, I focused on how I hated the job and how I hated working for who I work for. But if I just change my attitude about that, it'd probably be so much better. If I could just say, oh, you know what? Okay, so he has been a difficult person up until this point, but that doesn't mean that he has to continue to be difficult. So maybe if I change my thoughts and not automatically expect him to be difficult when he comes to me, then maybe that won't happen. And it didn't. It happened today. I saw, first of all, he came into the office, and while I was on lunch, and my one of my staff is like, he's here. And I was like, okay. Immediately my attitude was changed. But then I said to myself, okay, no, you can't. You can't do this, because I mean, I'm not trying to live in fear. Like, I'm not that kind of person that's just like afraid when somebody comes around. So I'm like, okay, I'm just not gonna give that energy. And so he came into my office, and he was chipper. He was in a good mood, and he was talking to me about stuff that he went to do with regard to our profession. He was in DC at some congressional stuff, and he was just telling me about all this stuff, and he was in a happy mood, and didn't give me crap about anything. So sometimes it just takes your energy to shift a whole different situation, and not necessarily for the duration of the situation. Maybe not for a long time, but for right now, in this moment, which is all you're really supposed to focus on, this moment. All that matters is what you're focusing on this moment. So let's try to make this moment the best that we can. Let's try to focus on this. Let's try not to be stressed in this moment. Let's try not to be hostile in this moment. Let's try not to be negative in this moment. Let's give all of our thoughts to positivity. So let's change the way I said it. Instead of saying, let's try not to be negative, let's say, let's try to be positive. Or let's be positive. Let's take the try out of it. Do or do not. There is no try. I'm not even a Star Wars fan. But I got that from The Big Bang Theory. So that's how I know that. But anyway, let's be positive. Let's do that. Let's have a great day. Let's have a good attitude. Let's decide. Let's choose our attitude. Let's decide that this is going to be a good day. Let's decide that this is something that we're going to get through. And let's try to manifest. Let's manifest good things in our lives. Let's change our mindset around certain things. So yeah, I don't want this video to be too long, because I do have a tendency to just talk and talk and talk. But I will talk to you about some of the things that I have gone through in my life, that I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I have gone through some really terrible things, and we can discuss them. We could discuss them one by one. That'll fund my not fund, but that'll that'll be the basis of my entire channel. Like, I could talk about that for a good year. Just the, you know, the amount of things that I can tell you about. And I know a lot of people have also gone through those things, and like I said, I can be empathetic to those. So if you would like to talk to the spiritual counselor, you can speak to a spiritual counselor. I do have a practice. My website is www.thewellfedspirit.com. I do virtual counseling right at this time. So I do it by Skype or FaceTime or Facebook Messenger. We can talk that way. Sometimes people just like to text. I prefer to talk where I can see you can see me, just because sometimes tone is lost in translation through electronic forms. Like, you can't gauge what a person's tone is, and sometimes you misunderstand the same sentence that would have been, you know, you interpret it one way when it was meant to be another way. So I prefer that way, but I will, I understand that some people aren't comfortable with that and they would just rather speak via text, so I do that as well. Or you can just leave some information in the comments. We can have a discussion in the comments about changing or choosing our attitude, or about things being put into perspective when we learned of the harsh realities of somebody else's life. So let's talk about that. Like, comment, subscribe. Please come back and talk to me again. Put your notifications on so that you'll know when to come and hang out. And I will see you guys next time. My son told me I need a better outro, because I'll just be, I'll just be like, bye. But I'm going to keep it, because I'm just going to say bye.